I mean, we got to talk about it. And I know some people are like, no, don't talk about it. And other people are like, we got to talk about it. We've got to talk about it. The Lions are 2 games back out of the wild card. We are 5-7. We are red hot. We are 4-1 after a 1-6 start. We're almost completely flipping that inverse. 2 more wins away from doing that. And as people say, we have a easy schedule going forward. My thing is it? Here's what we know. And what I want to do after I talk about what we know is I want to go game by game. What are our chances to win that game? And kind of talk about here's where we're at, because a lot has to go our way. We need some losses by the teams in front of us. We need to keep winning. And what is a realistic shot at the playoffs? And this is something that we've been doing that I want to keep doing each week just to kind of talk about it. If we keep winning, we're going to keep talking playoffs because that's what teams that win do. They go to the playoffs. So let's just talk about it, and let's just pull up the remaining schedule and kind of what that looks like going forward. So as we all know, we have a big showdown against the Minnesota Vikings. This game to me is kind of similar to the game that we had against Buffalo. And the reason I'm saying that is because it is a very good team with a very good record coming into our house. So I like just going and looking a little bit different and going into these stats. Both offenses are efficient. Passing the ball, running the ball. And here's the difference right now is their defense has just been a little bit better. But for a team, Minnesota, that averages 24.1 points per game, they give up 23.3. That's not even a point, but they are 10-2. They give up a ridiculous amount of yards through the air. They even give up some rushing yards. So we have to start and ask ourselves, like, if we can make this, I know this sounds weird, but can we make this a track meet? Can we make this a track meet? And if we do, if we're both scoring at a high level, I don't think it's the end of the world to think that we could beat the Vikings at home. Like, I think we have a good shot. I think that is more of a toss-up game. And even when you look at it right now, the odds have Detroit on Fox Bet favored by 2.5 points. 2.5 points. We are favored in this game to win. So, and part of that's because we're the home team. We've won 4 out of the last 5. Now let's go to the Jets. The Vikings always scare me because they're the Vikings, and it feels like we can just never quite beat them. And even when we do beat them, it feels like we shouldn't have beaten them. So I don't put that as a win for us. But based on all the metrics that you're looking at, the way the teams are playing, both teams are playing really well right now. It is an absolute winnable game, despite the difference in record. It is absolutely a winnable game for the Lions. Next game is against the Jets. The Jets, this is very interesting. This is their 3rd starting quarterback, White. They have benched their 2nd-year quarterback, Zach Wilson. They just are not getting it done offensively. They're averaging 21 points a game, but they're holding opponents to just 18.6. Now, for the Lions over their last 5 games, I want to say we're holding opponents to 21. So for all intents and purposes, that's where we're at. They have a very, very good defense. I think in this game, the big question is, can our offensive line neutralize their defensive line? They have some studs over there. They just do in New York. So we have to understand that we're going in there and we're playing a team that can flat out play defense. White has also proven that the Jets can move the ball with him at quarterback. But when you have a quarterback who's usually not quite as good as you would think, like a 3rd-string quarterback, for example, that he has, a lot of times they might start out hot and then the league starts to figure them out. He did not have nearly as good of a game last week as the week before. We have yet another week in between to see what he has. The question for the Jets will be, how well can we know him, and will he be stopped, or will he even still be the quarterback? And then we have the Panthers. I can't figure out the Panthers. They're a 3.5 point favorite at this point. It's a long way out. Again, as you noticed, home teams get the nod for favorite. It'll be nice to have some warm weather down in Carolina. I don't know how warm it'll be on December 24th, on Christmas Eve, that is. But you would have to look at this as the 2nd most winnable game left on our schedule. That's how you would have to look at this. The Panthers have not been great. They just have not been great. So you don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They just released Baker Mayfield. Mayfield requested a release. They said, sure thing. Their new coach, after Matt Rule's let go, was like, no, he is not my guy. He is not our quarterback. They don't score the ball well. But since getting rid of McCaffrey, they found a little something somehow on the ground. They found a little something, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So anyways, is what it is, I guess, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Then we have 2 games left. They're both division rivals of the North. All right. So first we have the Chicago Bears. We beat them in their house. Now they're coming to ours. Justin Fields ran all over us. But people are starting to figure him out a little bit. The Packers defense kept him in check last week. He has still not proven that he can win with his arm. It's all legs. It's unsustainable. And I'm not going to say I'll be surprised if he's healthy for this game, but he's already been dinged up a little bit. Lions are favored by 1.5 in this one. And what I think you can start to see with the Bears is they average a decent amount of point. They have a porous defense. They don't have a good defense. And I think when you get them in Ford Field, we'll be rocking. I was there on Sunday. The place is loud. With a rookie quarterback, you could see some issues on the offensive side of things. And then what that ultimately could lead to is us just taking this defense out to the woodshed. So here's where I'm at on this one. I actually think we get a victory over the Vikings. I think we get a victory over the Vikings. I think we get a victory over the Jets just because they're not quite sure what they're going to do. The Panthers, for some reason, feels like a trap to me. It just feels like a trap game, and I'm nervous about it. Going on the road to Carolina, something you're not familiar with, a team that makes no sense to beat us. That is a team we traditionally lose to. And I'm nervous about the Bears. There is not one of these games. Logic would say we can win every one of these games. The Vikings and the Jets will be the 2 hardest games. And then everything else after that should be smooth sailing. We've got the Green Bay Packers to end the season. This is a team that we have already beat, but at home. They're averaging 20 points a game. They are not the same Green Bay Packers that we are used to. The question will be, where will this team be at this point? Are they still trying? Are they still caring? Is this game going to be a couple of teams that have been red hot? And you could very easily, I know this sounds weird, but you could very easily have 2 teams that are 8-8 and have a outside shot at making the playoffs at 9-8. That's what this game could be. And it's in Lambeau Field. It's in the cold. It's January 8th. I don't love this game. I don't love this game. So I think when I see our remaining schedule with the way we're playing, I think 4-1 is absolutely not out of the question. I think 5-0 is a very tall order, but I think 3-2 or 4-1 are the end, which puts us at an 8-9 or 9-8 record for the year, which is probably not going to be good enough for the playoffs. It just isn't. So I don't think we make a playoff push. I think that it's nice that we can talk about it and we won't be mathematically eliminated. Hopefully we win the next game or 2 so we can continue having that up until the last few weeks. That's what we want as Lions fan. I would love to be 7-7. I'd love to be 8-7. I would love to have a chance down the stretch. And that's how we want to do it. I would love to see us win the next couple games, get to 500, maybe even get over 500. But I see us finishing, honestly, 3-2 or 4-1 on the season, which I don't think is enough for the playoffs. So playoff chances, not good. I would put it somewhere between 10 and 15%. Chances of finishing the year on a high note, much better. So that's what we're looking for. Remember, at the beginning of the year, you said 6 wins, 7 wins. 7 wins was the benchmark. We're 5-7 right now. 7 wins would tell me that Dan Campbell is a good coach and this team is improving with the talent that it's gaining, so that both Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are doing their job. It looks like that's happening. I would like to see that continue to happen. That's what we're hoping for. All right, that's what I see in the schedule breakdown. Let me know if you disagree with me on any of it. Have a good one. See ya. Hit the subscribe button. Hit it. Subscribe. Do it.